I wish all the best for the participants. Sir, you can take over, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning to all participants of Jnana Vikas Institute of Technology. Thank you very much, sir. Principal, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
So,
Sir, there
yeah,
are
yeah,
other participants from other colleges also.
yeah.
Yeah,
No problem, sir.
it's really a great pleasure to meet you once again. Please carry on. Thank you very much.
Right, sir. Right, sir. The first thing is all the participants. Just good morning to all of you. The main purpose of this webinar is nothing but skill knowledge, the skill set for required for a civil engineer once he comes out of the college. Even 30 or 40 years back, even today, since 40 years since today, this is the first time we are introducing certain things which students can learn while studying itself. I think most of the sixth semester and eighth semester students are there in the uh, this one inside the what you call the webinar. So the main reason is the skill set. See, even when I was junior, that was the problem when we used to come out from the college and we used to get into the site or anywhere in the job. So we will be totally blind. We were not knowing anything about the industry, whether it is practical knowledge or even anywhere else. The main problem is that whatever we are learning in the colleges, this will going to help only 30%. Only 30% is helpful, whatever the colleges are teaching you. And then another 20% we can say your own character, your own, what do you call, uh, character and other aspects. And the balance 50% is the practical knowledge. So in Prayojana Construction Management Training Institute, we are doing that only. We wanted to explain to the students. So what are the things you have to learn? What are the skill sets you have to uh, learn before going to a project or a job? Because earlier, when we were youngsters, our seniors used to have a lot of time to teach us, and we used to learn from them. But now, recently, say about 20 years down the lane, it has become everything has become fast track. Nobody is free, even in the offices or in site. Nobody is free. When a newcomer comes into a job, nobody will be trying to explain to you what is what. There's a lot of time it will take. See, in our Prayojana Construction Management, we had actually classes at our own institute. So in that, about 8 hours per day, we used to teach everyone, and it took almost 3 months, 8 hours into 3 months to give full knowledge about the practical knowledge about the construction industry. Even that was not sufficient for us to completely get into that. So now, unfortunately, because of this COVID-19, we were came down to only for webinar, so every day 2 hours like that. So now, what we're going to do is, I will give you one only the uh, briefing about what the skill sets a student or a engineer should develop before going to into a project or in a job, because no, your seniors will not be so free to explain you. So this is a good job. It is a good job taken over by our directors. One Mr. Sriraman, one Mr. Ashok Kumar, and one Mr. Uh, uh, Pradeep. All these people, they have taken this one for cause. They are training engineers through webinars, and they are training the engineers through classes also. So I will directly go inside the webinar. What are all the things we have to learn before going into practical knowledge? Let us start with this quote by Abdul Kalam, Dr. Abdul APJ Abdul Kalam, learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you great. Knowledge is a thing which is required for everyone to make yourself great. Whatever the other characters or whatever you are having, it is of no use. Knowledge is the main thing. So, this is our one of the directors, Mr. Ashok Kumar, and this is me, Mr. Natarajan. We have both of us have about 30 to 35 years experience in construction industry in various positions. I was a postdoc and from PES Mandya. So I welcome all you to into this webinar. Right? This is the objective of the training to impart industrial exposure. Industrial exposure in the sense whatever it is there, you don't have the exposure right now. Whatever you are learning, only it is a theoretical learning. So impart industrial exposure, on-site execution, and to learn practical aspects of construction as part of internship training. This is what the objective of the training. So I am very proud that to say that civil engineers are called Brahmas because we are all creators. Whenever you go to some project, we are the first to go. Whatever may be the situation at the project site, we are the people who are going to start. Without us, no other person can go into that. Supposing that if it is a transportation department, we have to go and do the road. Unless you construct a road, any other people cannot come over there. If you go to a residential building, unless you construct your own apartment or whatever it is there, commercial or anything, unless you construct our own building or a project, all other people will not have any job. That's why we call ourselves as called Brahmas. Brahma is nothing but a creator. We know all of you know that Brahma is a creator. So we are creating the world, and the civil engineers are creative people who design, create, and shaping the world's dreams into reality. See, we doesn't know anything. See, supposing after we construct a building, electrical engineer will come and he will see where the electrical points should be given, where the fan has to be fixed, all those things. But when we start, we don't know anything. We don't have any other uh, thing with us. Only drawings will be there. So we have to design and create, and we have to bring the dreams. So we always think, keep on thinking, and we will bring the things, whatever it is in the drawing, into reality. That is more important. Again, see here next slide. We will show you few wonders of the civil engineering. So we know about 7 wonders of the world, but of course all these wonders are of civil engineering only. So now we have our own wonders. Just why I am showing all these slides are after the wonders of the world is finished, then I will come to, I will explain you why these slides are shown to you, right? So let us go. Let us go to Taj Mahal. See here, this is constructed in 22 years. I don't know how many of you have visited over there or not. It has constructed in 22 years. It is in the century, 16th century, right? It is about 180 feet. Dome diameter is 60 feet. And then foundation designed to withstand earthquakes and floods. This is most important. See, such a huge structure constructed in 16th century. Nowadays we see all our buildings, most of our buildings, after constructing, somewhere if earthquake comes, it will get demolished. It will collapse. So think about this: how they have designed, how they have done the work. It is designed for earthquake and floods. It is not affected even a little bit. But first and foremost thing is it is constructed in 16th century. See, one more, this one is the white marble changes its color as sun moves. This is one of the wonderful, this one. Area is about 40 acres. Cost at that time it is 4 million rupees. Next one is Vidhana Soudha. So you know very well in Bangalore, this is the most uh, iconic structure. Construction period is about 4 years. It is architect is Kenga Hanumanthaya. And then largest legislative building in India. I don't know how many of you know. Whatever the legislative assemblies in India, this is the largest one all over India. This is the topmost. We have four plus one basement, and then floor area is about 5 lakh square feet, and we have 300 rooms apart from two assembly chambers. Central dome of the building is 60 feet. Again, it is constructed in 19th century. So 16th century and 19th century, we never had any technological advances. Now we have a lot of improvements in this. Then let us go to Krishnaraja Sagar. See, this is also one of the most iconic structure. It is again it constructed in 19th century, 1911 to 1932, about 20 to 21 years. Catchment area designed by Mr. Vishweshwaraya, chief engineer. All of our Karnataka people know about him. And then design yield, full reservoir, length of the dam is about 8,597 feet. It is almost constructed 110 years before, but even now it is in a very good shape. So coming to Murudeshwar temple, which is at near Udupi, you have second largest Shiva idol. I think most of you might have visited here. It is by the side of the Arabian Sea. Then you will have the 20-tier Rajagopuram. This is the Gopuram we call it as. It's about 237 feet, and the cost is about 50 million rupees. And this is the latest one. I don't know how many of you have come across. This is the tallest building, the tallest statue. It is constructed recently in Gujarat. It is about 182 meters. Then a lot of L&T is taken over this job. And see here, it took 57 months to complete. 57 months is the total project value in this one period, out of which 15 months for planning. 15 months, almost 1 year and 3 months, they have planned it. And 40 months for construction. They have taken 40 months. That means 15 months and 40 months, almost one third of the total project period is gone for planning. Then you can imagine how much planning is important. Then the construction and handover, it took 2 months. Handing over itself, it has taken 2 months. It has been constructed by one of the largest companies in India. It is L&T. See, this is the details of this. L&T employed over about 3,000 workers and some engineers to construct the statue of this construction. It is about 74 lakhs cubic feet of concrete, 6,500 tons of structural steel, 18,500 tons of reinforced steel. Structural steel is different and reinforced steel is different. And then 1,800 700 tons of bronze plates, 1,850 tons of bronze cladding. See how much work is there. 3,000 workers and more than 200 engineers worked on this day and night. And then we have bronze panels were transported over the sea to bring it. Even the statue was transported from there over the sea, and they erected it. So this is about Statue of Unity. See, again, this is Burj Khalifa. It is in what do you call in Dubai. Engineering facts. Construction period is about 6 years. Designed in the shape of some flower. Overall project is 87 lakhs 60. I mean 876 lakhs US dollars. Floor area is about 4.65 million square feet. Height is 2,716 feet or 828 meters. 163 floors, 58 functional elevators, 2,000 almost 300 parking spaces, 304 hotels and 900 apartments. It has construct. I mean, it is having a 22,000 million man hours and 55,000 ton steel rebar, 110,000 ton concrete. This much has been used here. So now I will show you some of the structures which we cannot even write it in pencil. These are all the structures. These are all done by civil engineers only. See, again, these are all in abroad. It's very difficult to do all these jobs. Again, it is in Japan. Here, half of the bridge is over the ocean, and some portion it has gone underground. Below the ocean, it has come out again on the other end of the river. Again, this is a shape of one more structure. So this is aqueduct constructed in Tokyo. It is in Netherlands. The another photo in this one. So much of complicated structures. You can see the bridges. You might have learnt about this bridge. It is too steep. They have designed. All are civil engineers only. And then you can see one of the most difficult construction. Already, already buildings are there. Inside the building, they have taken the metro track without disturbing the existing building. So these are very what you call challenging jobs done by civil engineers. So that is the reason why at the start of the seminar I told civil engineers are Brahmas.
Oh,
You
young
can see
sir,
the
Brahmas.
major ongoing projects in India. See, a lot of people they are thinking that construction this one has come down. It is totally out. We will not get jobs. It is not correct actually. So many jobs are coming and it is going on. Only thing is adaptability. You have to adapt to certain things and you have to be ready to accept the challenges. The major ongoing projects in India. This is dedicated freight corridor. Only for freight, they have allotted about 80,000 crores only for freight. Freight in the sense uh, we call it as consuming consumer goods only for goods. They have to take from one place to other place. They have a separate track for that train. Then they have allotted 80,000 crores. It is on the job now. National highways, 7 lakh crores. The amount has been dedicated and it is again in the job. I will explain to you one by one in the next slides. This is Namami Ganj, one more project. And the smart cities project, about 1 lakh 80,000, 89,000 crores. This is high speed rail corridor. It is from Ahmedabad to Bombay. It is called bullet train. And as a first stretch, it will be from Ahmedabad to Bombay. From there, they will keep on extending to major cities. It is about the amount this one kept for that is about 1 lakh crores. Housing for all. It is about 20,000 crores. And then we have solar cities in each state, Amrut scheme, Sagarmala. You might have heard about this along the coastal areas, and they are connecting all the coastal cities with transport. We call it as roads and bridges. So that is industrial corridor. Again, we have so one by one I will try to explain. See, this is eastern and western freight corridor. I told you, no, see, so many kilometers. You can see in the map. So almost it is getting done in the northern India to eastern India. They are connecting a corridor called eastern and western dedicated freight corridor. It is having a huge potential required. A lot of engineers are required. Only thing is, initially you will be given a trainer's job, and if you pick up with the skill sets, you can very well come up in your life. And then again, the national highways, yeah, about 65% of the freight and 80% passenger traffic is carried by the roads. They have calculated 65% of the total India's freight is done by roads, and 80% passenger traffic is done by roads. Even though we have railways, the most of the people they are using roads. National highways constitute about 1.7% of the road network, but carry about 40% of the total road traffic. That is the what do you call the survey. Number of vehicles has been growing after average pace about 10.16% per annum. So that is the reason why these highways are very much required. In these national highways, we have 1,40,000 kilometer, state highways 1,31,000 kilometers, major district roads 4,67,000 kilometers, rural and others 26.5 lakhs kilometers. So this much of work is there, but we are thinking that there is no job. Again, we will go to the next slide. See here, next 5 years, we are having the planning of 7 lakh crore investment plan for national highways. 7 lakh crores investment plan for next 5 years. Lot of infrastructures are coming up. Unless infrastructures are built, we cannot go for any other structures like residential or commercial or industrial, unless it has to have a connectivity. So they have had a plan. India, government of India is having a plan for 7 lakh crore investment for next 5 years. Only thing is here there is a national highways map. So much of roadways are getting connected. Not lot of highways are coming up. Don't depend on industry. I mean residential buildings. Thinking that Bangalore has come down, it doesn't have any job. Don't think in that way. You have to look into the present structures, what are all the things going on all around. That is one of the reason why we have taken up this seminar to introduce all the students to know about again this is national highways. One more this one complete highway project. It is connecting north, west, south, and east. Huge projects are coming up. See, this is what I was telling Sagarmala. From here, coastal, from what you call from Goa, it is coming out Mumbai, coming out Bangalore, all this area, Tuticorin, Ennore, all these areas getting connected by roadways because it is freight. Freight will come along with the sea. From there, you have to take it over to the other cities, major ports. Connectivity of ports is called Sagarmala project. Huge project. It is on the job. So, only thing is, see, connecting the dots. About 70,000 crores overall investments likely in projects. So much projects are coming up. So for some time, maybe after 5 or 10 years, all the connectivity jobs are over. Then there will be a boom for all other this one industrial, commercial, residential. Unless you are connecting by road, you cannot make a city. Again, here they are doing smart city programs, smart city projects. These are all coming up. This is what do you call it as bullet train. It is from Ahmedabad to Mumbai. They are having so much of it's about 320 kilometers per hour speed. All these details about bullet train. So this is one of the projects in Bangalore to Mysore. It is widening of existing road and strengthening of existing road. So now it is taking about 3 hours. Once this project is completed, it may take at least 2 hours to reach from Bangalore to Mysore. This has been taken up by Dilip Bilcon, Madhya Pradesh company. They are taking a lot of highway projects all over India. This is one of the most developing company. Again, here it is metro. So much of metro. This one is coming up inside Bangalore or even all the cities. So that is also it is Hyderabad metro. It is taken up by L&T. The whole project is taken up by L&T. In case of Bangalore, the stretches are divided and it has been given to many companies, including L&T, JMC, URC. A lot of companies are involved in this. One thing is, you have to come out and you have to have the uh, interest in learning the things. Or sometimes you may be getting employed without salary also for about 2 to 3 months or 6 months. Get yourself skill set. Then there will not be any no one will be there to stop you come climbing the ladders. Okay, this is one of the things. The last one, civil engineers, nothing is impossible. See this, we can show you the photographs of roads in hills, how tough it is. Now it is very easy for us to climb this one road with road and we can reach anywhere from anywhere. But constructing at that time is very difficult. Civil engineering, nothing is impossible. See, after seeing all these slides, definitely one civil engineer can be proud that he is a Brahma, no doubt about it. So, how could this be possible? Why I have to show all these slides? What is the necessity of showing all these slides? The reason is that how could this be possible? So, how is this possible? Lot of things are involved in this. First thing is project management, project planning, and then we will have construction management, construction planning, and then we will have finishing. So much of skill sets are required. One by one, you have to learn. First thing is you have to get into a project. Get yourself learn the skills one by one, one by one. First thing is you have to learn how a certain structure is constructed. What are all the things involved in that? About 3 to 4 years you work on that. Then you can take your own domain like planning or QA/QC or quantity surveyor, because basic knowledge for all these things is practical knowledge. Sometimes now because of the COVID-19, there may be a problem of getting a job. No problem. Only thing is there are some alternatives which you have to think. There was a saying in earlier days, survival of the fittest. Now it is not survival of the fittest. Now it is survival of the smartest. One who is smart enough to learn things will survive easily. See, these are all the proper project management. For project management, what are all the things required? First and foremost thing is communication. Be able to communicate with each other without fear, whatever knowledge you have or not, you should communicate. You have to talk. You have to ask questions. Then thing is teamwork. It is not done by a single person. It is done by a teamwork. Any job, any project is done by a teamwork. So getting into the teamwork itself is a skill. You have to develop that. How you are getting into a team. It's not that easy. And then analysis. Before starting the project, lot of analysis will be done. That is one of the main objects. And once the analysis are over, we have to think about the budget for particular project. What is the budget required? Here, in the analysis, you will come across rate analysis. Lot of analysis are there. In case of budget, you have to learn quantity survey. You have to learn rate analysis. You have to learn planning. All those things comes under budget. Again, planning. Separate planning is required once the budget is fixed. How to work within that budget. Then the main thing, the most this one problematic thing is problem solving. Whenever some problem comes, people naturally will run away from problems. That should not be there. Problem solving skills is required. So that skill will come once you get into a job, and you have to learn, you have to observe, you have to talk less. You have to talk less and you have to observe, you have to learn. Thereby you can get all these skill sets. It need not have to be 100% perfect. Perfection is not required nowadays. It is skill set it is required. Perfection to the extent of 80%, everyone will accept, but skill set is more important. Again, milestones, goals, and deadlines are the same. It is nothing but a target. We can call it as milestone is for smaller events like excavation, PCC, and we can go for RCC, shuttering, reinforcement. These are all items, small items. For that, there will be a target that is called milestones. So control is nothing but quality control. You have to not only quality control, cost control, time control, all those things are in control. These are all the things. Again, risk management is most important. One of the risk management is safety, and you don't look into the safety or other risks. What is the risks which will going to come? You have to anticipate before. Supposing that if you are going to excavate certain portion of a project, a big building or a big project is coming up, you are going to excavate. What is the risk involved in that? Two or three things. We have to take out the soil report. In that soil report, they will clearly say that from which depth to which depth, what is the type of soil available, from which depth to which depth, and then one more thing is water table, where exactly the water table is coming. All the things will be seen. With that, we have to take planning. So, supposing if it loose soil is there, we should be ready for strengthening it. Lot of this one the latest technology is there to strengthen the weak soil. How to do it? For that, what are all the things required? You should be ready with about 2 to 3 months before itself. And then water seepage. I told you that water table. Supposing if you wanted to go for 4.5 meters, 5 meters depth, at 1.5 meter depth, water is coming. So by soil test report, you'll be knowing all these things. If suppose 1.5 meter water is coming, what is the thing we have to take care so that work should not happen. So you have to do pumping. You have to arrange for pump, all other accessories which is required for that. So these are all the risks which has to be anticipated before starting a project. In every stage of the project, risk will be there. And then the goals. Goal is nothing but same thing I told you. This is the target for a little bit bigger items. See, these are all I told you. Milestone is only for excavation, only for PCC, only for RCC like that. These goals are for construction of structures, RCC structures, total structure put together, how much time it will take. These are in a bigger scale goals. Deadline is something like the total project. These are all targets, milestones, and goals and deadlines are all targets in a different scale. So these are all the things required for you for proper project management. The last but not the least, managing the project in a systematic and controlled manner is called project management. So now stakeholders, who are all involved in a project, they are called stakeholders. There are two things, direct stakeholders and indirect stakeholders. Direct stakeholders are employer, the client, architect, project manager, project consultants. Lot of consultants are there, structural consultant, services consultant, quantity surveyor. There also have consultants, feasibility consultants, and then the contractors, laborers, and suppliers. These are all direct stakeholders who was directly involved in a project. Indirect stakeholders are nothing but local authorities. Local authorities in the sense government authorities. They are all also stakeholders in this. environmental authority. You have to take, see, when a project starts, you have to take permissions from all these people, local authority, that is BBMP or BDA or MUDA. In case of Mysore, it is called MUDA. And then environmental authorities, environmental approval is required. Media is more important. They have to propagate whatever the projects coming up. Then the general public who are all directly involved, they are also stakeholders. Town planning board, you have to get the approval from the town planning board, other competitions and institutional. These are all the stakeholders involved in a project. So key areas of project management. Lot of I have explained to you. Lot of managements are there. One is scope management. First, you have to think about what is the scope of work. What is scope of work in the sense? What type of job you are going to take up. In that, all the details you should know. Supposing if it is an hospital building always referred to as number of beds. 80 bed hospitals, 100 bed hospitals, 200 bed hospitals. It is termed like that. So, what is the scope? How many beds is required? How many operation theaters are required? These are all scopes required. How much square feet of area is required? How much should be? What are all the other things required apart from the construction of building? How much area has to be left for gardening? How much area has to be left for firefighting? All these things are scope management. Time management, I need not have to say. It has to be completed within that period. That is time management. Cost management is most important. Not only the progress or the time should be within our budget. If it exceeds the budget, the project will be a failure. Then the quality management, you have to take care of quality, and then human resources, how much people are required, how much machineries are required, and communication. I've already explained to you. It should be very communicative, otherwise the problem will start and the project may get delayed. Risk management again, I already explained to you. Procurement. This is the latest management which has come since 10 years, I think. Before there was no procurement. It was called purchasing. A purchaser can have purchasing manager or purchasing assistant. Need not have to be a civil engineer or any engineer. In the fact, he can be MCom, BCom, anything. Now a subject called procurement management has come because lot of varieties of materials have come, which is not possible for a BCom student or a MCom student to understand. Like windows, see we have lot of windows, aluminum windows, wood windows, UPVC windows, CPVC windows, like that. Even for plumbing work, UPVC pipe, PVC pipe, and then GI pipe. All those types are there. So for that, engineer should know what is the specification for that. A BCom or MCom student cannot do that. So this is one thing which has come up since 10 years. A civil engineer have a lot of scope in this. You should not think that it is only purchasing. A lot of engineering is there in this. And the last one is stakeholder management. I already explained to you. Integration management. How it has to be bifurcated. Unless if it is bifurcated, everyone cannot do every job. It has to be bifurcated and it has to be responsibilities to be divided so that things will move faster. So definition of project management, all these things I have explained to you now is nothing but an application of knowledge. Whatever knowledge you have, whatever the techniques you have, tools and skills you have, application, only not knowing about all these things will not be helpful. You have to apply wherever it is required. That is most important. So you have to apply wherever it is required. That is called project management to meet the project requirements within the time and cost. This is most important. The last line is very, very important. Within the time and cost, whatever the knowledge, technical tools and skills, whatever you have learned, you have to apply at a particular time and particular period at particular place is more important. Otherwise, the project will not going to come up in cannot complete. See, stages of project managements. I've already explained to you. First is initiative. So before starting the project, lot of initiatives you have to take. You have to take the approvals. You have to have this project. Is someone mute your audio? Initiation has to be taken, and then planning has to be done before the project itself and during the project. Planning continues before the project starts, and it continues during the project also, and even at the closing time also it continues. Planning is more important. And then execution, then monitoring and controlling quality or cost or time, everything. Keep on controlling every now and then. Every month you have to do it, or every 15 days you have to do it. Execution itself comes in under monitoring and controlling. Then the last one is closing. These are all the five process groups in the construction. The first thing is you require need, concept, end user requirement. End user in the sense client. What is the requirement is there that has to be taken care of, and then master planning has to be done as per the requirement. Detail and design has to be done. These are all things done by architect and structural engineers. Then you will have a BOQ and estimate based on the drawings. You'll have to do BOQ. BOQ is nothing but a consisting of specifications, rates, quantities, all put together on one sheet. It's called BOQ, bill of quantities. Estimate for each and every item, specification, and then next one is cost and budget, and then marketing. This is done by marketing people. Only in case of construction of we call it as commercial and uh, residential, this will come. In infrastructures, marketing will not come. Then duration, time is the methodology. Each and every item has its own methodology, how to do it. So that is required. And then resource management. And the last one is quality control, safety, statutory requirement, sustainability, and maintenance. These are all the prime factors of construction. Earlier, I have shown you the project management. This is under construction management. So much of things are involved in this. The objective of construction management, why construction management is required. Completing the work within specified time and budget. It is more important. It has to be specified time and budget within that budget. And then evolving reputation for high quality workmanship. These are all the things, three things which is required: budget, time, and quality. Providing safe working conditions. Unless you have management techniques, you cannot do all these things. You should require planning and construction management techniques. And then safe working condition. This is more important for staff and workers. If accident starts happening, the project will come to standstill, and there will be a huge loss for the client. Taking sound decisions. See, this is more important for young engineers. They should be able to take decisions at right time. They should not wait for the seniors to come in and give the decisions. There are certain things we have to take at the site or at the office, wherever you are. This is more important. Practical management, and then motivating people to give their best. This is one more important thing. A person cannot do without a team. So how to carry the team along with him or her is more important. You have to motivate the people. Some people they will get exhausted. You have to motivate them. You have to give the spirit for them, and you have to for the successful completion of a project. Creating an organization that works as a team. This is what we call it as team management. You cannot do single-handedly. You have to have a team. If you are heading a team, you should take a lot of things into consideration for successful completion with a team. Team is also more important. If team is not supporting, you alone cannot do a job. See, here is a pie chart. The planning, how much time it takes, this is the most important. Then execution, then the follow-up. About 60 to 70% involves in planning. If you do a bad planning, and then the entire project will come down. Execution is about 30 to 40%. Follow-up is about 20%, you can say. So why project management is required? So in this slide, it is clearly explained to you without saying a lot of words. So first one is what the client required. Client required this much only. So what are the things it has been explained to others down the lane, and finally what they have given here in the last slide you can see, which is not useful for a customer. If project management is not perfectly maintained, this is what will going to happen, because every human being will have his own weaknesses. This gentleman will tell to the other gentleman something. It keep on going. At the end of the project, you will be totally confused. You will not be knowing what client is required. The client requires a simple thing like this, and you will end up with thing like this. If project management is not there, it is not properly maintained, this is what will going to happen. Construction management. Why? That is project management in the sense it is outside the construction site. Inside the construction site, what is required by the client? He wants a track. He wants a track, railway track of 2 lines, thoroughly. These people have given 2 tracks. Is it can it be useful? It is because see, this fellow is blaming this fellow, this guy is blaming the other guy. What is the this one result? It is not useful. It cannot be used. So much of a problem. From one side construction has happened, from other side some construction has happened. At the end of the construction, it's of no use because construction management is not properly maintained. The communication is not correct. The planning is not correct. So end of the project, they are coming to know that there is a big mistake, blunder we can call it as. So construction management and project management is very much required in industry. See here, one more thing. See, this guy is having so much of ladders, he doesn't know how to use it. 2 or 3 ladders, if you put it like this, it can easily go about at the other side of the wall. So it doesn't matter how many resources you have, but if you don't know how to use it, it's of no use. So this is called resource management, we call it as. Lot of other managements are there. This is one resource management. This is also very important. So coming to opportunities to become a entrepreneur in civil engineering industry. Lot of things are there. One by one, I will explain you. Don't blame the government or don't blame the people around you for not getting a job. So lot of things are there within you only. You can make it out. It is again. It is that's why I called it. I told you it is fittest. Survival of the fittest, not survival of the fittest. It is survival of the smartest. See, this land surveyor, licensed building surveyor. You can get a license. For that, at least you have to work for 2 to 3 years in some job related to industry. You will get a certificate. If you apply a certificate, you get. Lot of people are there who can nowadays become owners in using the total station. They are all non-technical people. They have become huge.
ಇಡ್ಬೇಕಾ
Hello,
ಒಂದ್ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ
tell me, sir. Hello, hello. Land surveyor. This is, and then one more thing is building panel valuer, chartered engineer, preparation of building plan, elevation and estimation. These are all things required. Only 2 to 3 years of experience in any construction industry. You can apply for through the proper channel. You get the certificate or the license for this. This you can easily can do it. You need not have to wait for someone to give you a job. Initially, you have to struggle 2 to 3 years. After that, it is up to you to take what domain you wanted to. Civil contractors. This doesn't require any license at all. Again, it requires at least 2 to 3 years experience. So for that, you have to work in that industry for 2 to 3 years, buildings in building and industries, highways, railways, infrastructure development, water supply and drainage works. Unfortunately, in all these places, non-technical people are on top. Technical people are working under these people. Why things are happening like that? Because we are thinking that we cannot do it. We want only white collar job. 2 to 3 years, learn, concentrate, what is required. Only thing is what is required for you, what you have to become. That you have to finalize. On that basis, you have to go ahead. Don't think about the salary. Don't think about the environment. Nothing is easy in this world. Everything is tough. You have to face it. Maybe after 3 or 4 years. It again depends on how you will going to decide on which domain you have to go ahead. So to change the domain anywhere, and it requires little bit of guidance, which is what Prayojana is trying to explain. And then other civil works like mobile tower. See, it is little bit difficult. It doesn't have anything. They will give drawing, huge tower foundations will be there inside remote places. You will have to keep on constructing foundations. Foundation doesn't require anything. It requires steel, will be supplied by the supplier, client. Shuttering material you should have, and the material you have to collect. You keep on doing the concreting, sales, shuttering, doing the shuttering, reinforcement tying, and then the concreting. People are minting money. A lot of people are minting money. They are all now, unfortunately, they are non-technical people. Most of the technical people doesn't want to involve in this. This is very easy. Mobile tower is very, very easy. And then EB, electricity civil works. These are also a lot of towers are coming up. You might have seen a lot of substations coming up. In that, nothing is required. Small foundations you have to make it and hand over to them. Then electrical people will take care of it. A lot of money is there in that. And then petrol pump civil works. Small works only, not big works. Petrol pump you can construct. Only thing is, you should have little bit of experience and lot of confidence is required. And money is of course is required. But apart from money, confidence, self-confidence is required. Skill set is required. How to go along about it. Then solar farms. Nowadays, solar farm foundations are very familiar. Then water shedding works. Structural design and consultancy, of course, it is can be done only by master degree. After completing master degree, you have to get a certificate from the government. Then you can go about it. Precasting elements. Nowadays, lot of contractors they are involved in this precast elements. What you have to do is in matter to put money. So you have a little bit of experience in that. Then you can arrange for laborers. You start with labor contractor. You learn about it, and then slowly you can go into the contract with the material. So a lot of people are doing in that. Small contractors, non-technical people, they are coming up in this precast elements, and future in commercial and in what residential this one precast will be on the top. In future there will be a lot of precast. Cast in situ will not be there. Precast elements will be more important in future. This is small manufacturing units of solid blocks, hollow blocks, everything everyone know about it. Curb stone, precast drain, precast slab, then fencing, all small things only. You can take this for this, you need not have to have even experience also. So what is required? You have to learn what are the machines required, little bit of amount is required, about 3 to 4 lakhs. You can start in a small scale, slowly, you have to do marketing, and then you can come up. Special civil structures like chimney, silo, this is a huge, this one, we cannot do it with fresh engineers. RMC also doesn't, cannot be, it requires a lot of amount. Hot mix, these are all RMC unit and hot mix can be for future. Maybe after 10 years, you can try that. Construction plant and machinery, shuttering and scaffolding material higher. See, again, it requires money only, nothing big in that, and you should know what is used for what. Shuttering material, a lot of people are doing minting money. A lot of money is there in shuttering and scaffolding material hire. If you leave it for hire, you can get a lot of money in that. That is one of the most um, topmost this one business in this construction industry. Hiring materials. So these are all specialized civil works, land development, earthwork and filling. Huge money is there, but we are not into that because we want only white collar jobs. Waterproofing works. Nobody is there in waterproofing works. A lot of mistakes are happening in my this one experience I have seen. Engineers are not involved in this. They doesn't know about what is waterproofing, and they doesn't want to know also waterproofing. This is one of the major this one domain which will happen in the future. And then plumbing, horrible conditions in plumbing. No engineers involved in this. They doesn't want to learn. They only want to know how to do concreting, shuttering, reinforcement, concreting. That's all. If you know about all these things, he will start thinking that he is the one of the best engineers in the world. Plumbing is the most uh, wanted domain, especially in abroad. These people are very much required. They are having shortage of plumbing engineers. Authorized applicator for construction chemicals. It doesn't have anything. Only little bit of amount you have to deposit construction. Chemical company. You can take a license. You have to go through. Marketing is required. A lot of people are making money in that. Retrofitting, renovation, and rehabilitation. It is a special type of this one. It requires a little bit of experience. And then interior. Interior is the easiest one nowadays, but nobody is interested in that. Once you hear interior means it is not our cup of tea. People will start thinking that. It is a lot of people are making their future in that. Recently, I have seen some of my own colleagues, engineers, they were into the interior works. They are making very good profit in that. And then fabrication and erection, landscape work, facility management. These are all the things which entrepreneur, you can become an entrepreneur. Only thing is you have to plan, you have to work hard for at least 3 to 4 years to learn about things. You have to learn. Unless you learn, you cannot become an entrepreneur. In future, because of all this COVID-19 and all, companies are not hiring too much of people. They want multi-talented people. That means one person has to do 3 or 4 skills at a time. So this was happening about 40, 50 years before when we were youngsters. We used to do all things. And in between, there was a system. That system is utilized by a lot of engineers. That means the system is only for like shuttering engineer, reinforcement engineer, plastering engineer, blockwork engineer, tiling engineer, like that. Every things has been divided, and one engineer who knows about tiling will not be knowing about plastering. One engineer who knows about plastering doesn't know about the blockwork. One who knows about blockwork doesn't know about reinforcement. So like that was happening in between about 15 to 20 years. Lot of people got lost in that. So again, the same thing has come after 50 years. Multi-talented people are required now. So one should know about 3 to 4 domain, then only you will be appointed. So others, what will going to do? Nothing serious about it. 4 to 5 years you work in some field. You make your mind which way you wanted to go. Either you wanted to become an entrepreneur, or you wanted to become a costing engineer, or you wanted to become a quantity surveyor. In that particular this one, after 4 years or 3 years, when you become self-confident that I can do my own, you can start learning about. You can start into that domain. You can come up. Don't be a site engineer for 40 years. It's of no use. You have to make yourself multi-talented. That is more important. See all these things. So This is a small, what you call, how it works out, project management, again the design, construction management, again here these three are official office works: project management, design and construction management. These are all office works. Then comes to the project work. This is construction management, superintendent. It is this one, what you call, a chart showing. See here, key functional roles. These are all parallel activities: construction, structural, architect, interior, and mechanical, electrical. All put together, they will come down to site. This is procurement, planning, safety, quality assurance, execution, and the quantity survey. This is the simplest functionalities in construction management. So these are all job requirement in industries. You can just go through. A lot of people they are asking. See, you can see estimation engineer. You can see here, project engineer, project manager, land surveyor. Nowadays they are asking for particular domain. So you have to be very careful in selecting your domain. So you should know which is good for you and at what play. And after 4 years, you can very well make yourself sure which is the cup of tea for me, which is suitable for me. So based on that, you can change your domain and you have to get into it. But all these things requires site execution experience. Before that, cannot have the key functional roles of project engineers. These are all the engineers required: planning engineer, costing engineer, procurement engineer, contract engineer. This is the most toughest one. Quality engineer, execution engineer, and safety engineer. So these are all the skills that required. Planning for that, understanding the project construction and scope of work is required. Sequence of construction. This is required for a planning engineer, which
ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
which has to come first and which has to come next. That is most required. And then we have a project monitoring, cost planning, resource planning, time planning. All these things are required for planning engineer.
ರೈನ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳೋಣ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಗಾಡಿಗಳು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
Hello, please mute your this one. Someone is costing engineer. These are all the things required for a costing engineer.
ತಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ
Reading construction drawings. Work. Please, who is that? Please mute your audio. Reading of construction drawings, working out detailed measurements,
ಕೂಡ
and then
ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
understanding. Hello, hello,
ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ
hello.
ಹೇಳಿ.
Someone is. Please mute your audio. It is getting disturbed. Understanding the method of measurements,
Mr. Ramesh,
preparation of bargaining schedule,
Mike.
and then learning of standards, standard coefficients.
ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು.
Hello, hello,
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
hello.
ಒಂದು
Understanding bill of quantities, preparation of rate analysis. These are all required for costing engineer.
ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ.
And then BOQ items.
ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Then quality engineer, what are the requirements? Material quality, testing parameters, quality requirements, project quality plan. This is one plan which we have to learn. So all this this one construction methodology is required for quality engineer. Each and every item, how it has to be done. Quality checks. There will be a lot of formats will be there. How it has to be filled and how it has to be controlled. And then checklists and documentations. Documentation is more important in a construction industry. All the things you have to learn. Each and every engineer will have his own. Execution engineer is the toughest one. So he has to learn everything. See different types of structures, drawing study, project execution plan, sequence of work, detailed construction schedule, working out resource report. Lot of things are there. All these things are execution engineers requirement. Career opportunities in civil engineering. Consulting firms, again it requires experience. Government public works, and then research and development. Can go to master degree and we can go into research and development. Technical sales and marketing, if someone is interested in sales and marketing. They can go for that. I have already explained to you regarding chemicals, construction chemicals, and then shuttering materials also nowadays. Designs are available, and people are involved in shuttering material sales and marketing, and then again industry. So these are all different levels of at industry. See, this is more important. Prime skills of civil engineers. Any engineer, not only civil engineer. Decision making skills. You have to be ready to take a decision. This is a skill which normally a lot of people lack. Because of that, they cannot go up the ladder. They always will be in the site engineer or senior engineer level. They cannot go up as a project manager, general manager, or something like that. One who is having that skills, they can go up. Leadership skills. So you have to learn how to take work from people. Then math skills is more important for civil engineer. Mathematics is very, very important. Organization skills. You may be an expert if can do alone. But 4 or 5 people or 10 people are under you. It is very much difficult to organize them. That skill you have to develop. Problem solving skills. I have already explained to you small things. You cannot run to senior engineer. That has to be problem solved at your level itself. Speaking skills. This is the most wanted nowadays. Nobody is speaking anything. Even when you take classes or even webinars, nobody asks questions. They will keep on hearing and they will not ask questions. They will not clear their doubts because they think that by speaking, their weaknesses will come down. Some people will not be knowing some languages. Because of that, they will not speak. Some people that doesn't have communication skill. Because of that, the problem exists. So many a times, if you go up the ladder, speaking skills is very much required. See, supposing some program could not able to happen, you should convince the client in such a manner that it is not our fault. It will be completed within due time or something like that. You have to convince them. That for that, speaking skill is very much required. Writing skills nowadays it is required because you should know. You should send letters through emails in English. This is one of the most toughest. This one. So unless you learn this, you cannot come up in your ladder. So expectation in the industry. See why most of the students doesn't get into the job easily because, of course, this the topmost good academic track record. Many of them have very good academic track record. No doubt about it. Willingness to learn is not there in that. So first of all, whenever I have faced a lot of things, whenever a fresher comes to our interview, first thing what they will ask you, what is the salary you are going to give? What are all the benefits you are going to give? All those things they will ask, but they will never try to think how much I know to demand a salary or benefits. So this is willingness to learn. Unless you learn things, you cannot demand thorough knowledge about the subject. How are you going to know? I've already told you only 30% is taught you in colleges. Balance things 50% you have to acquire the knowledge from the seniors or the experiences which you're going to face. You will going to face interest and commitment to work. This is very very bleak. I have seen in my career. Once a junior engineer or a fresher comes into the site, he is much more interested in other activities than this commitment to work. Like nowadays, Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc. They are much more interested, but they are not interested in learning the things. Interest is required. Interest is required. Commitment to work comes only when the interest is there. Self-initiative. You should be able to come out and ask questions. Why it is like that? Why it cannot be like this? So unless you have that self-initiative, you cannot learn. Good communication skill. This is very poor. Adaptability with the teammates. This is one more. This one always they will have fight with one or the other. Adaptability very less. Potential skill on construction practices. Again, the skill required. Ambitious towards, they are not ambitious. That is a problem. They feel that whatever they have, they are happy with that. So, so this why this thing is there, because why this webinar we have taken up is to pass the truth to the next generation. Teach them early what we learn late. We have learned very late. So in fact, I learned computers at the age of 50 plus, 45 plus rather I can say. I am now 58, but you can learn each and everything at your this one, which we wanted to teach you. So these are all the things uh, we wanted to. Hello, Ashok sir. Hello.
Available. You can scroll to the next slide.
Yeah, you can take over, sir. About the
Yes.
Prayojanas, this one you can
Yeah,
explain to
you
them.
can scroll the next slide.
Yeah,
I can.
yeah, please.
Good morning to everyone. Sorry for the not joining at the start of the program. As I was in other webinar, I could not able to join. Happy to see you all in the this particular program. The future engineers, second year, third year, and final year students, and the teaching training faculties, and the HOD and the principal of the college for permitting us to take a program on construction management. Why we selected this as a career? Because in college you are getting in the college academics is being covered, and there is a bit of bridging courses required to get into the field, because the syllabus is restricted by the universities. They can't give all the things which is happening then and there in the industry. So there are some bridging India institutes are there. We are ex-L&T professionals. We have taken up this particular initiative 3 years before, and nearly 30 plus colleges we are associated in Karnataka. All the BGS institutions, SJB80, SJC80, BGS IIT Chikmagaluru, Dayanand Sagar, and many more, NMIT. Lot of colleges from Bangalore and Manipal Institute of Technology. If you take Tamil Nadu SRM Institute, and lot many institutions, there are lot of engineers are coming out. For them, we are giving the finishing courses related to tenders, related to contracts management, related to project planning, related to, because you want once you are in the final year or third year, you have some dreams. All the 60 candidates in the class may not choose the same domain. Somebody may be interested in interiors, somebody may be good in estimation, somebody may be good in execution of work, somebody may be interested in designing. So according to the field requirements, if you take construction field, lot of domains are there: irrigation, metros, railways, airports, highways, buildings. Lot many things are there. For that, the finishing skills helps you. Somebody is having a interest on highways, they can learn more about highways and get into the field of highways. Like this, if you go for higher studies, then again it takes 2 years of time, and cost also is there. So we are giving the skill sets which is required for the industry at the college level in the during the third year and the final year of the college itself. Presently also for SVIT, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, and MIT, we are doing a program, campus program, where the students are getting their internship in the third year itself. They are becoming industry ready. And here also, with the support of your college, we are planned to do many more programs. What we do, we are going to guide. One is selection of your project work. We are going to guide you. The selection of skill sets which is required. How to prepare a CV as per the industry standards. Because CV is a very important subject where a lot of people not paying attentions, and if you apply for a job, nearly 1,000 plus CVs are going to be there in the mailbox of others. How your CV should be there? What are the things? I made a video itself. You can subscribe to Prayojana Connect channel. There I have given a detailed 1 hour program only on the CV making, how to make a CV, and how to attend the interviews. Attending is also not yield results. Attending few interviews with a result, how to crack it, because we have nearly 750 plus engineers in past 3 years by proper structural training and plasma placement assistance we are doing on and off campus in their study and after their study also. Recently also one of your senior Lata Gowda, she has been trained by us and she was been working in a company and we only placed her. And a lot of I have seen you have filled up the form. Lot of people opted for government works. Really, nearly 40% of the people you selected your career as a government engineer or a government job. Whether that much is available or not, you have to rethink it. Because most of the, if you take airports, Bangalore airport is a private airport. If you take a highway, Bidadi to, if you take your college, if you're in front of your college only, expressway which is leading from Bangalore to Mysore, that is under construction by a private contractor. They are investing their money on that. Highway construction, nice road, if you take, that is a private road. And the monitoring only is done by the government. So most of the things are being taken by private, and but we are still in the mindset we should secure government jobs. Where is the government is having jobs? If you apply for a engineer post, 1,000 plus engineers are applying. How you will stand out? Yes, if you have good money and if you have time for going for government jobs, you can still try. But most of the things are outsourced. You take a railway jobs. Recently, also a lot of railway lines they're going to give for the private to operate. Metro, Bangalore Metro, the government is not like a stakeholder. It's a small stakeholder there. It is not a secured government job. If they don't have the work, they can take you in a contractual basis or a temporary basis. So a lot of things are temporary in life. So after the your college also you have to grow. If you have to stand out in the market, you have to upgrade your skills at any point of the time. So how to take that one? We will support you and guidance for higher education. Yes, of course. A lot of people are wanted to go for higher education. We give the guidance for according to the suitability, additional coaching for the required candidates that we are doing, and a lot of working professionals are taking training with us. Evening classes we have for them, weekend classes we have for them. Even project managers having 15 years of experience are getting trained under us. And we are arranging project site visits, factory industrial visit. Due to COVID, we have stopped this activity. Otherwise, activity number 9 can take place. And Prayojana, when it was started, 3 years before it was started. The next slide you can go. Mr. Sriraman is the founder of this institute, having around 30 years of experience in only in the construction management. We don't teach about designs and all. It is already you are very good on the designs. We teach about the construction, how to take a site engineer job, how to take a quality engineer job, how to take a QS engineer job, how to take a planning engineer job. These are the maybe Natan sir covered those things. Anyway, I am just helping you. Market requirements we are helping. Next one, the large companies we are associated with us. Yeah, since we are worked in very big companies, larger companies. This is my profile. You can see I worked for L&T for 10 years and all the large companies in India. I have worked in very big projects. We can teach you on the how the projects are being. If you are interested to work on live projects, definitely you should take an internship course, or if you are in a final year, third year student should take an internship mandatory. VTU also made it mandatory because of the employability. Because during in this COVID time, you can spend the time. Time is with you, and definitely already 4 batches of internships we have completed in Bangalore. Lot of people from various colleges they have completed. We offering some sponsoring for a few candidates also that Natarajan sir will discuss with your coordinator. He will announce the candidates who are eligible for the sponsored category. And Mr. Prem Kumar, he is taking care of our Chennai operations. He is also having 30 years of experience in construction management. Next slide, you can go, sir. Yeah, this is the course what is available for the final year students and passed out candidates who are looking for the jobs. or enhance your skill sets, and additional certification is required. You can have so many software courses. Yes, that is also required, and the skills which is required for the job, how the company works, that you will get trained from here. But most of the trainers are from the companies only. They are going to teach how the how you should do the work. Okay? You can say it is a preliminary exercise. You are doing 2 months with us, and after then the company hires you, and we give the experience certificate also for you for the work what we are assigning. And the next slide, sir. Here, this is a short-term course. Third-year students can take it up. Recently, from a presidency, lot of students have taken this particular course. It will be helpful for your government jobs, private jobs, entrepreneurship. You can learn here MSP, Primavera, QA/QC, and finishes in construction. We are not teaching only the commands. We are teaching you, training you how to schedule a project. A live project is given. We have one division called Prayojana Engineering Services, where we are doing around 20 plus projects. On that particular projects, we involve you from the design stage onwards, how to take out how to read the drawings, how to take the quantity estimates. So once you are applying for the job, this will be a additional certification. You will be standing out when compared to the others. The companies are looking for industry ready, because most of the people wanted, once the project is came up, after then only they will hire the people. They are looking for 2 or 3 years of experience. Why? Because they know the things like that, the BOQ estimation, lot of 2 to 3 years of experience people know. That's why they are asking 2 to 3 years. But a fresher, they understand they don't know. That's the reason we are giving this to the fresher. Our freshers are getting the jobs. Even 2 to 3 years of the experienced people on that particular place, they could not able to fetch it, because that much knowledge they are getting from us. Next slide, sir. This is a weekend course which is given for the working professionals. Lot of site engineers want to upgrade to engineer, or a planning engineer, a project. This is fully the syllabus of corporates. Our syllabus is entirely designed by the corporate professionals. Those syllabus only we are giving. They are all live project information only we are giving. Next set. This is for planning engineer course, where you can learn about MS project along with the project planning concepts. The large companies, which what are the formats they are using, what are the software they are using, how they are preparing the report. The live project, you can make a planning report. We don't say this as software course. This is a planning course which includes software and the systems, where you can learn about the systems also. This is a quantity survey course, where a lot of the 6th semester students, 8th semester students, especially girls, are taking this course, because it is a desk-based work. You can do this work. It involves a lot of calculation. Each project requires compulsorily the quantity surveyors, and the site engineer also should know the quantity surveying. So the opportunities available are, once you complete this course, you can become a junior quantity surveyor, or a procurement engineer, or a billing engineer. So this particular your senior has got the selection on junior quantity surveyor. She is working as a junior QS in a leading company. Yes, sir. Next. This is a finishing webinar we are going to conduct next week. If you are interested, you can join daily 2 hours. The training will be there 5 days, and our senior faculty, Mr. Suresh Ramaya sir, is the faculty for this particular program. It is a certification program where 5 days you will be learning about all the finishing activity, from block work to plaster, joinery, how to do the joinery work, how to what is the sequence of doing the work, how to do the flooring work, and how to do the painting works, the methodology and the procedures, best practices is going to be taken. And this is a 5 day course, where you can spend a daily 2 hours for this program. The cost is around 1,000 rupees only. If you are interested, you can fill these forms which is given, or you can call our office, they will guide you. Next one. This is a very important course, and nowadays lot of engineers are getting into BIM. Lot of projects also getting into building information modeling. We have 3 levels of program. for the sixth semester students, you can go for level 1. If you are in 8th semester, you can go to level 1 and level 2. If you are in serious about your career in BIM, you can go for level 1, 2, 3. Next one. This is we have structures, architecture, MEP, all the 3 courses we are available. And the trainer is having around 15 years of experience, and particularly in BIM, she has trained nearly past 10 years, and she is also from a great company, and she has trained around 3,000 plus students as of now. Next, sir. Interior designing, yes, lot of people, girls are taking this particular course as a internship or and as a job perspective also. What are the profiles available? Lot of large scale interior companies are there in the bank, and they are doing projects in all over India. You can become a designer or a quantity estimator, catalyst, procurement, QA, QC. These skill sets are not there in the syllabus, will not be available in any of the engineering scheme. So if you take this course, the 6 areas you can become. There you can become a designer or a planner or something. And this is internship for the architecture students. So your friends can do. Next one. This is for civil engineering students, 6 semester students. There will be daily 1.5 hour of training will be there for 30 days, and online training. And the drawings also will be given to you, assignments given to you. You have to work 2 to 3 hours, and you will get an experience certificate from Prayojana Engineering Services. And there is a fee, minimum fee attached with that. The teacher is going to explain, or ma'am will explain. Next one. Those who are interested, those who are taken the internship, the same company hires them once they come out of the college. These are the few full-time trainers with us. Lot of people are there. All are having 30 years of experience in the construction. And this is the certificate you will get. We are a lifetime member of ACC and IGBC. I am heading the IGBC for Bangalore. And these are the appreciation certificates given by few colleges. I work for SJB School of Architecture, NMIT, and we have a Center of Excellence in Sona College of Technology. Our syllabus is integrated in the engineering syllabus itself. So then these particular colleges no need to go out and learn for more courses. Everything is given in the syllabus itself, and autonomous organizations, they have this liberty. Next one. These are the few placement records. Yeah, of course, a lot of placements where we have done 300 plus. Your senior, you can see in the bottom row, second, Lata Sri from Jnanavikas Institute of Technology. She has been taken a project planning activity in the Design Cafe Bangalore. She is working there. The month of January, she got, see, your engineering you could have completed in the May, June. So after searching 6 months or 7 months of experience, then without any job, coming for course and joining the work, your experience is getting delayed, and this loss is there. If 6 months, if you have no work, minimum if you have taken 20,000 rupees per month salary, 1.2 lakhs is lost. The experience also lost. So nowadays students are taking while they are in the college itself. When they are in the college, they are spending online with the institutions who is doing the courses, and they are gaining enough knowledge during their college itself, and they are getting wonderful opportunities before they are writing the exams itself. People are thinking why IT companies only hiring before the exam. Civil companies, civil construction companies also hiring before the exams. We are hiring for IIT Mangaluru. We have placed lot many candidates. BGS institutions also we have placed. Like this, lot of companies we have a tie-up 100 plus companies. So we are giving placement orders before once they complete the course. Next slide, sir. Lot of associates are available with Prayojana for giving various programs. Next, sir. You can visit our website www.prayojana.org in, and you can subscribe to Prayojana Connect YouTube channel. 200 plus videos are available. Next. We are a green building member also. I am heading green building, Indian green building. That is also need for our. If you are green buildings, you can do it. And this is our social media. We have our Instagram page, we have our YouTube channel, and we have Facebook Connect. All our activities you can track in this particular slide. Next one, sir.
That's all, sir. Last one.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity given by the Manavika management, the principal, the LHD, the students, the professors who are working for supporting section education. And if you have any questions, you can write or you can unmute your mic, you can ask us. This time is for you. Thanks for allowing us to speak for 1.5 hours. Now you can ask your queries here, or you can type your queries. For another 5 minutes, we will be there, and with that, we will close the program.
So good afternoon, myself Pradeep.
Yeah, Mr. Pradeep, tell me.
Sorry for the delay, sir.
Not an issue.
Because network issue, I'm not unable to join. Just I had joined. So half an hour before.
If the strength, actually, I have been told that 60 students are there. That's why we have given Cisco WebEx. If the students were more, we could have given Google Meet. In Google Meet, 250 plus students we can accommodate.
So next time we're going to try that. Next time we can do that one.
In Cisco WebEx, only 100 people we can accommodate. More than that, it is not.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we can do one more program.
Okay, sir.
Larger.
So I would like to conclude this event, which was very effective. And the speaker, Sir K.B. Natarajan and engineer Ashok Kumar have done a wonderful job. Thank you, sir.